Hello there and welcome back to Tyranny. We were just entering this camp and looking around a little bit and getting all the inventory things that we can take.
You see nothing.
You see nothing. And now we're actually going to go... What is this? Left click to toggle party AI. No! No, I don't want party AI on you. I never
just point me in the right direction.
Toggle that off, I guess. F9 should quick save. Thank you. Awesome. Let's start talking to people. Because, you know, up to this point, we really haven't talked to anyone. We should really just do some conversation. You know, can't do all fighting all the time. Alright, death knell. You, as much as an accusation as a question, the broad-shouldered woman shakes her head with a scowl. So you're Tunon's Fatebinder. I was expecting something more impressive. She bows in spite of her misgivings. Death knell, Scarlet Fury. My time is yours for as long as it amuses me. Ba-bam! Bia. So I will mention that I've been sick for a while. My voice is pretty much back. I'm pretty good. But got water. We should make it through all the conversation today. The fighter effortlessly spins a bronze sword about in her hand. Let's get one thing clear. Stick to your words and law. Leave the fighting to the grown adults. Your corpse would just be a tripping hazard to those of us having a proper bit of carnage sport. They sound fun. We've got enough useless twats dying for our name as it is. All our horde recruits seem good for of late is piling in a shit-reeking mound on the battlefield. She hums low to herself and flips her sword side to side with several deft flicks over her wrist. Keeps up, and we'll have to toughen our recruitment standards again. Now, what do you need? Insult me again, and I'll bury that blade in your belly before you can scream. Minor favor, verse likes me. I'm gonna go with that. She pales a surprise, but please laugh at your threat. She pales a surprised but pleased laugh at your threat, tapping the flat of the blade against her thigh. She cants her neck until it audibly cracks. Maybe there's something more to you, Fatebinders, after all. You said something about the horde thinning? Swelling until it's thundering, then crashing and receding. It's been the way of the course for as long as I've been in it. She offers a one-shouldered shrug, ambivalent if anything, but more likely just uncaring. We take our prisoners alive, give them a chance yet to live, to be reborn into something better. Putting any and every able body to the sword like that is favored to do is nothing but a waste. A conquered enemy is but a new ally. It merely requires the proper coercion. Of course, we do sometimes have the problem of lingering loyalties. Deserters are rarely successful in their escape, but they do try. The Vendrian Guard, strengthened by their numerous blood ties, have been particularly stubborn, so I've a better plan hatched. Get to the point, soldier. And then she kind of gets pissed off. Brutal, efficient, I like it. Minor favor, I'll go with minor favor. She tips her head to you, a smile playing at her lips. Had a feeling you'd see it my way. I'm thinking we redouble our efforts to recruit settlers, focusing on the unaligned and unsuspecting, instead of flushing ourselves to the gills with oathbreakers claimed from the battlefield. How exactly do you plan to convince them? A knife point has sufficed well enough in the past, but you've inspired me to try a more diplomatic approach this day. What do you say, Binder? You might be able to ease them into the idea, and save the lives of their friends and neighbors in the process. If it means expediting the end of this meandering conflict, so be it. Sure, why not? I'm not doing the Scarlet favor dirty work for them. Scarlet Chorus. Get your own horde pup to do it. If it means expediting, I'm gonna go with that. The Fury howls a satisfied laugh and smacks you dead on the back. My methods are surefire, you'll see. I'll mark the settlement on your map. She grins, biting her bottom lip bloodied. I can't wait to see the outcome of your efforts. Cool, more quests. What were you expecting? Let's see. Death knell counts on her fingers, conducting some mental tally. From your deeds during the conquest to how you've helped us since then, and because we have favor now, I expected a mountain, a warrior of colossal size that could shout a rampart wall into submission. She smiles, but I think you'll do just fine. What can you tell me about the Scarlet Chorus? We are the voices of Narat's glory made manifest. In the chorus, strength rises and the weak feed the soil. Yeah. Death knell smiles, standing tall as she extols the army. Our ways terrify the cowardly and shock the naive, but our traditions exist to offer promise and prestige to those fit to claim it. We abandon all petty rules for one simple law: the strongest must lead. What is your role? Frowns, her eyes narrowing. Do you not recognize Scarlet Fury when you see one? We are the warrior spirit of Chorus. Scholars of sword and shiv. She folds her arms, puffing out her chest. In peace we train those tough enough to endure our lessons, but wise enough to learn from the best. In battle it is our duty to slay our foes and inspire the horde with our skill and bravery. Deathnell clicks her tongue, looking aside to the others in the camp with an eye roll. We are fearless vanguard of this confused but glorious rabble. How's the military life treating you so far? Oh, it's a wonder of wonders. I eat what I want, I shit where I want, and I kill who I want. Sometimes even combine pleasures. She winks at you. My enthusiasm for the work brought me here, a decorated Scarlet Fury veteran, eh? But I'm looking for advancement. If it means killing one of the gang bosses, I'm not above taking a swing at someone bigger than me. And that's verse. They can be bigger than you, just make sure they don't hit harder than you. Wise words, sister. Cool. So we got a new quest. The Way of the Horde. Travel to the settlement, blah blah blah. Let's go talk to Selvaris. And he is, oh, he is disfavored. And he doesn't have a neck? Hail, Fate Banner of Tunon. The disfavored officer pounds a heavy gauntlet against his chest in a stiff but warm greeting. Were I a betting or a superstitious man, I'd say fortune must favor me today. I am not, but I'm pleased to meet you all the same. Now, what brings you to my little slice of personal damnation, otherwise known as, he spreads his thickly gloved hands wide, this here mud and shit-stinking chorus camp. Have anything you'd like to report, soldier? Maybe you've noticed something unusual during your time here? He cants his head to one side, taken aback. What about the chorus isn't unusual? The army itself is a strange, malnourished beast, but no, the screamers seem mostly in order, ma'am, and I haven't been spying, if that's what you're implying, ma'am. Still, as a post, he studies you sharply, scarcely appearing to breathe. Of course, even if I was, it'd be damn near impossible to learn anything from this shit sty. Fifth Eye and those damn Furies don't even loop me in enough for me to do my detail, and it's not for lack of trying on my part. What do you mean? Scarlet Chorus lose minor favor. Why would I lose minor favor with them if I just gain with him? So easy to work with. Right, because you seem so easy to work with. He quaffs aloud and bemused. Aren't I? Iron Marshal always said I was too soft when it came to incomers on account of me being such a good-natured fellow. Gained very minor favor. In fact, you should tell Deathnell that. Maybe she'll stop hiding troop movement from me or passing me enemy intelligence. She thinks I'll get me killed. And we gain a little bit more favor. Where are you stationed with the chorus? From the way most of my days go, you'd think I was here to row with blood chanters and scarlet furies. But my post is to represent the disfavored's interest before Fifth Eye and the Scarlet Chorus for Iron Marshal Arianus. Not that I've gotten to do either as much as the last span. What do you think of the Scarlet Chorus? They're rabid dogs, a lot of them. Ever seen a screamer racing headlong into battle like a hound chasing a winter hare? I have, and I can tell you more often than not, it's the screamer who ends up skinned and gutted. Leave the campaign to the chaos that's the chorus, and we're doomed. You act like it's a punishment to be assigned to this detail. Isn't it? I know I fucked up to get here, but got 3 days in the hole and a nice little promotion to go with my new post. Well, I won't be making the same mistake twice when it comes to the Iron Marshal. He just juts his chain towards the distant valley. I should be out there, fighting for Asha's glory, not standing here ready to run back a report should something ever finally fucking happen. What did you do? This favor 1. Made the grave mistake of suggesting the Iron Marshal wasn't fully utilizing the Scarlet Chorus. Well, here I am, a liaison officer to a camp of liars and cheats who'd sooner gut me than ask for my aid. Guess she showed me. Our lives are at a risk, and even then you can't get along with the chorus? Begging your pardon, ma'am, but I've never fought a battle where my life wasn't on the line. He shrugs. Kind of the nature of war, isn't it? Guess so. I wonder if we can actually go to Deathnell and talk to her about him. I'm assuming we cannot, but I will try. We cannot. Okay, oops, sorry, I clicked not 4. I meant to click 4. Alright, less things to talk here. Feriakel and Lantry. Let's go. Lantry. The Fifth Eye must authorize all prisoner visits. Oh, these are prisoners. Yep, because they're signed up to posts. Okay. Let's talk to Reg and Baz. Well, look what we have here, chewing on some manner of cud. A heavy-set soldier flings spittle and crumbs as she talks. The Fatebinder finally shows herself. I'm Reg, the second soldier chimes in, and this is Baz. We were wondering when you might pay the camp a visit. The Fifth Eye has been a little starved for attention. He ordered us to watch you like a troublesome babe. Make sure you don't get out of line. Baz knits her fingers together, joints crackling as she smiles. Most of them are female. This is interesting. Reg clears his throat loudly, scowling at Baz. Something like that. If you have questions, ask us. Good luck finding anyone else in camp who'll give you answers or even a smile. So, anything we can do. Tell about yourself, Baz. It was a sellsword at the beck and call of fat merchants, just another dented face in the crowd. After too many years of spilling blood in local skirmishes, I realized that I was only killing time. Then Kairos showed me a better way, unity, purpose. Now I fight for something, not just someone. Been watching Scarlet Furies, practicing my blade work. Not good enough to join him yet, but I bet I could show you a thing or two. Tell him about yourself, Reg. He scratches the back of his head at a loss for words. I had a family, a farm, then the course came. Well, now I have the course. Priorities change when you hear screams in the night and feel a blight pressed to your neck. Things like farms or families don't seem as important. I used to have nightmares talking about the culling. Felt awful remembering how I hacked my ma and dad to bits just so I could survive. Scarlet Chorus constructed a village. They hold a ceremony known as the culling. Every able-bodied man, woman, and child is given a weapon and forced to fight their families and friends to the death. Those who survive are deemed strong enough and free from old ties to join the army of the Voices of the Night. Sounds lovely. Reg's eyes shadowed for a moment with sorrow, takes on a feverish glim. The fifth-eyed heard me howling one night, pulled me out of the horde, and took an interest in me. Now I'm studying magic, calling fire from nothing. If my ma and dad could see me now, they'd be so proud. But you killed them. Tell me about your time in the Scarlet Chorus. Reg and I were conscripted to the Gates of Judgment. He used to fight for Occam, me for Azure. Baz chuckles, sketching her chin in thought. Sketching her chin in thought. How many fights we survived so far? 11? Reg begins to count in series across his fingers. No, 14. I count each day in sunder separately. The courses, Baz looks about the camp and shrugs. Not as bad as it smells. The strong like me and Reg, we're allowed to take what we want, what we deserve. We live only as well as our strength affords us, as it should be. What can you tell me about the fifth eye? Reg trades an uncomfortable glance with Baz and lowers his voice to a whisper. They say he shares a direct link with the Voices of Narat. Guard your tongue around him. He's a little wild, bloodthirsty, mad. Baz thinks for a moment. Brilliant. Reg flinches and glances over his shoulder. I was going to say eccentric. The chorus isn't picky about who joins the ranks, so you can expect to find some unusual types. Most are as likely to kill you as promote you. What do you think about Vendrian's well? The walls might seem impossible, but the Vendrian Guard do a better job of hiding its weakness than fixing them. She shrugs. We took the Citadel once before, we can take it again. We have to, don't we? Reg looks up the imposing tower of the spire, though Kairos knows I don't want to stay any longer than necessary. She follows his gaze and shakes her hand. You should know better than to parade your cowardice before the Fatebinder. It's not cowardice, it's just superstition. Are you afraid of the spire? Sorry, Fatebinder, I should have mentioned anything. He sighs. The fact of the matter is we were told to stay away from the spire and old walls ever since we were babes. Of all the dumb childhood lessons that fell by the wayside, that one stayed the same. I imagine a soldier of the course pissing himself over architecture. More like what's underneath it. The Bane lurk around those old sites and kill anything they can catch unaware. I have no wish to meet the Bane in combat unless there were 100 blood chanters at my back. Me neither, I suppose. It's just a lip with an into. She twists her lip into a frown and she considers this. Me neither, I suppose. Let's see what you can teach me. So they can. Let's dance, Binder. So can't train anymore because his character's already trained a maximum amount, but he can. Unarmed combat, dual wield, or bows. None of those are interesting for him, I believe. Yeah, dual wield bows or I'm looking for two-handed or one-handed, mostly. Yeah. Scarlet's best fits a wad. These rations are foul. Taste it. Can't let it poison. I heard there watches over this favorite scout by the grain stores. You don't think? I feel fine. Maybe it's an herb to slow my hand in battle. Sabotage the coward's weapon. Maybe it's just gone bad. Seeing you, Reg pockets his ration without taking a bite. Fatebinder. Reg, show me the fifth eye's been teaching you. Make that valley burn. Alright, so he can actually teach you magic staff, subterfuge, or lore. These are incredibly useful to me. But I need to level up. Basically, I really need to level up. I need to go kill stuff and level up so I can come back here. That would be really, 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 really useful to me. I mean, obviously, lore. Or basically lore. Magic staff also a little bit, but not for him. Cool. So they could do those
Just
things.
Point me in the right direction.
Train you, and it could also happen later. Sniggler Dagos. Upon noticing your approach, the merchant straightens his posture and smiles. What an honor! The name Sniggler Dagos, originally from the relative tranquility of the Northern Empire. I've since accepted a nomadic life for the sake of keeping Kairos' force supplied with only the finest goods, local and imported. Let me see your wares. He winces. It's not much, but let me know if anything piques your interest. Everything's fine. Ooh, he's got fine things. Fine is fine. Do we have anything here that we can actually sell? Yeah, I haven't done inventory management in a while, mostly because it's difficult to do the moment. Oh, this switches between them. Cool. So you can actually use whatever. This is the Ardent Bronze Sword. This has the Served Iron Sword, not that great. Armor penetration, these are the same things, aren't they? Yeah, they are. And this is a Bronze Hammer, which is also a one-handed weapon, right? Yes, it's one-handed at the top, it says so. But 0.87 DPS, but more recovery. And other than that, it just does a little bit more damage, different types of damage. It does crush instead of slash and pierce. She does also slash and pierce. She has specifically slash and pierce. So it might be interesting to give him a crush weapon so that he'll have a crush weapon. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. It's a bit slower. It is like significantly slower. Well, half a second is quite a lot, but it does do more DPS. I don't know. I'm gonna stay with the Ardent Bronze Sword for now, I think. In terms of armor, nothing can change for him. She can. This is less good. This is definitely less good, and this gives you +2 armor, but less disengagement, and recovery and deflection, which are cool. And this is Blood Chanter Sandals, which seem to be exactly the same. Yes, they are exactly the same. For this, only Verse can equip this, so I literally can't equip it because I'm not Verse. So that sucks. But this thing, I can, and this is just strictly better, isn't it? Yeah, recovery is the same, deflection, so this is just better than what I'm wearing right now. Coolly-ooly. And then we've got this, which, again, disengage and all those things are more important to me right now than just straight-up armor. So everything else seems like I can sell because they have no reason to keep them. Consumables, I have infinity of them, and I will keep them forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And this is just other. I'm assuming I can just sell these things. If I can't, well, poop. Then let me know. But I'm assuming I can just sell those things. So let's sell them. Cool, and then over here we are just going to sell everything, and over here we're going to sell everything, including iron boots. Yeah, they are fine, but I don't really care. Boom, trade. Now we got a lot of money. Yeah, selling all the things. Oh wait, that I can actually. Can I like learn that? Consumables, which slightly increases the strength of a spell. Learn. Yeah, learned. New thing. Anything else? Skycap, Whitestone, Waking Death. Everything else is just like gives you bonuses for an amount of time, right? So we keep everything in case we will ever need it. Probably not though. We'll probably never use anything ever because that's how you play video games. You never use anything. Okay, so do you have anything cool for me? This has more recovery but more DPS. It's fire though. And I rather not use that. Stars of Storm's Heart. This control fire, right? And I can compare it with my own, but this one is control lightning, which is significantly better for me. So I obviously want lightning and not fire, so I'm not going to use that. This is a Ripper, which costs way more than what I have, but looks fucking amazing. Not for me though, because this is a one-handed and thrown weapons. Oh. Red Rivers and Gutseeker. Yeah, this is just better than both of them. Yeah, it's way fucking better than both of them in interesting ways. Ranged attack. It also has a ranged attack. Well, I can't buy it. It's way more expensive than what I can. But I can buy this, and this looks really fucking good. So it is better than both of them. Red Rivers and Gutseeker are actually minor accuracy, and they're both. This is pierce and this is slash. I haven't really looked at them. Accuracy, recovery, and that's about it. They're kind of the same. Minor parrying and minor accuracy, which I'm assuming just boosts those. This thing just is better. I do want to check them out a little bit better so I'll understand what the hell's going on. So they have minor parrying, which just gives you +4 parry, and this gives you +4 accuracy. That's pretty good. Does it count in when you look at it? I guess it doesn't, because this just says +2. Where's my accuracy? If I like... It doesn't really matter. But my accuracy is 64. So if I pick this up, my accuracy is significantly less. Huh. And her one-handed weapons, alright, cool. So dual is like significantly better because it is just significantly better. But she also gets the bonus from that to everything. So it is really good, and I have to consider that when I look at that. So when I look at this thing, for example, for verse, it says +13 accuracy, which is a lot, but I have to consider that I'm also getting +4 accuracy from my Gutseeker and parry for the other thing. But this thing has just way more accuracy and more DPS, so this is just way better. Everything else is like not that interesting. Scarlet Chorus leather armor, less frost, but it is just better. It's just like strictly better, it seems. And then everything else also looks pretty damn awesome. This has multi-strike. I have multi-strike. This doesn't. Fire Eye Stone. Sigil of Fire. This rock glows with warmth traps from the Edict of Fire. How it contains the heat without being consumed. Whoa, 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 whoa! No. Without being consumed is a mystery. So this is just an accessory you just put on and it gives you stuff. Everything else is. And here you see these are just consumables. So these are all weapons. Everything else isn't weapons. And then this highlights the weapon. Oh, it just sends everything to the top. Okay. So this highlights the weapons, and then we've got consumables. Scarlet Poison. And these are actual sigils, expression, accent, and core. Okay. So I kind of want these because I want them. Less a sigil of precision, sigil of channeling strength. Does not have enough lore, but I do. Of channeled strength, it's an expression. And this is a lesser sigil of precision. But this is a core sigil of... There's core, expression, and accent. So I wanna try and understand this a second. So there's a core, then an expression, which, okay, and then an accent. So these are just what they are, and then the expression makes it something, and the accent makes it more numbers. That is. So really interesting, really cool system. Honestly, really cool system. Sigil of Vigor, let's buy this. I want to buy this. Channeled Strength. Lore 40. So this is just like insane lore that I totally can't do. Sigil of Precise Action. Doesn't cost that much, so I guess I could do that as well. Just for the sake of doing those. And other than that, and after that, there's stuff that I bought. I sold. What's this? Accessories. Just a Fire Eye, and then blah. So, learn. Cool, now we could do Sigil of Vigor. A target with energy enhancing the mind and body with greater power. Vigor can be it could be highly addictive to weaker minds. Ambitious mages in Kairos' court have been known to use doses of Vigor to enthrall courtiers, building networks of power and influencing them and being evil and blah blah blah. Okay, cool. So that's something, and then we could use our Sigil Focused Intent. Titan's Touch. Lore required 15. Huh. So this is ranged. How do we get more of these, by the way? This is very, I'd like to know. Titan's Touch. Ranged, cooldown 24, affects allied target, vitality and might. Fill the target with a surge of greatness, granting them a bonus to might and vitality. Intensity will just give them 2.5. Not that great. Range will just mean that the range is bigger. And then Precise Action means they also get accuracy plus 15. Okay, this is good. So this is actually pretty good. If I remove this, however, he can have this. He has Spectral Blur, which he can cast on himself, and then he has he could just be tightened up, which is really cool. This is plus 20, this is plus 10, which will turn into 25. So the range, but it doesn't really need that. Plus 20, and this is plus 15. Almost, but you're not gonna get the accuracy, unfortunately. But this is really, really great. Yeah, this is really great. These are like self buffs, and he can buff himself. And if we also add intensity sigil of this, not this, sorry, this is what I mean, the accuracy, we can assign this over there, yes. So she has blur now. She can cast blur on herself, and she can Titan touch herself. She can Titan touch herself. I'm sorry. Titan touch yourself. Yeah. Okay, and I can murder shit. I do want spectral blur to keep on myself, but everything else just deals damage, which is great. So far I'm pretty happy with that. Other than that, I do need sigil of, like more expressions. More expressions will be good. So let's buy the other expression. Let me see her wares. The other sigil of China, I definitely want it. I don't care. I'm spending all the money. Learn, even though it's 40, so the chances of me only I'll be able to do this. But let's check it out. Plus 40. Bam! Fulmination. 4 to 7 shock. That's not that great. Oh, damage 1 and damage 2. Okay. 50 foe AoE, 50% shock damage taken for 4 seconds. So release several waves of electrical energy, charging enemies with shock vulnerability. Following the final wave, unleash all contained energy upon foes in a violent surge of power. This sounds awesome. This sounds super awesome. Like, super awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. What about this? Unravel minds. Overwhelm the minds of nearby foes, stunning and dazing them. Dazing. Stunning is really good, though. Damage, dazed, and stunned for 2.2. I really like stunned and dazed. So afflictions are this just tells me what afflictions are instead of telling me what stunned means. But okay. This is control illusions and lore. Control illusions. I do like this. I want more. God, I need more of these. Spectral blur could be useful. This turns him prone for an amount of time. Charged fist though isn't really AoE. This is AoE. Area of effect. Target with huge bolt and dealing AoE. So I'm just gonna go with lightning and this. We're gonna create fulmination and then we're gonna replace charged fist. Yes. Yeah, I think these are cool. Maybe false bit and then spectral blur just to see if I can defend myself in case I get into a scary situation. And hey, they get more lore. Really? You just get more lore by using these things? Or oh, by learning, I guess. Okay. Cool. And the last one to talk to is the fifth eye. The Bonder of Tunon arrives, squealing with teenager's timber. The fifth eye voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel in need of a trim. And we just finished having a bit of sport with some captives. But worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Just in a bronze-red regalia of the Crimson Spears, the fifth eye beckons you to stand close, wagging a blood-spattered glove. Now that you have issued this edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Chirps of laughter emanate from under his mask. Lovely! I trust you're getting your warriors ready for battle. We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we have learned this is not their only nest. The fifth eye wags a hand in the air with a high-pitched squeal of displeasure. Given their pattern of attacks, they must have a second group maintaining camp here in the outer valley, and unless we deal with this second group, they'll attack from behind the moment we cross the river. You have how large a force and for all these weeks you've left the enemy move freely through the valley? I'm hurt. Insult my manners or maturity, but do not insinuate that I sit idle when there's blood to be shed. The Crimson Spear claps his fists together. We have dealt with countless Oathbreakers, but one group remains at large despite our best efforts. Captain Pellux's crew consistently evades our kills or kills our own gangs. So you need help taking these Oathbreakers? And while a good old-fashioned slaughter would be an efficient solution, the smarter answer is not to kill them, but to add their strength to ours. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners, and one of their prisoners claims she can lead us to the Vendrian Guard's secondary camp, though There are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this Variakel. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try to take their captain and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. Why not just ask the Archon of Secrets? I thought we could interrogate everything. He could interrogate anything? Let's do that. And get them pissed off. An unintelligible mutter escapes from under the fifth eye mask as his posture stiffens. Scout favorite 1. And I'm sure you can drink all manner of cider, but that doesn't mean you'll drink every bottle of cider in sight. A boring, insignificant mind is a waste of the Archon's efforts. I've known the Archon to demand personal interrogations, but it's only ever been to leaders, mages, or others of great merit. I've often imagined the interrogation process is not to be taken lightly. Perhaps it's downright exhausting for Norat. I will speak with the prisoner. Sure. I will meet you there. She is waiting by the other prisoners. Wow, he walks slowly. So, we get to interrogate someone. Cool. Yay, doggy. I'm assuming I'm going to have to kill one of them in order to get one of them to talk or something like that. Yeah, he's walking just really slowly. Let the defendant speak with our catch of the day. Please, someone, I wish to bow before the voices of Norat. I thought all could find redemption in the chorus. A woman in the makeshift armor of the Vendrian Guard lurches forward in agony. Her soiled, trembling legs suggest she has been forced to stand for days. This one, he flippantly waves at the prisoner, was hollering earlier that she knows the location of the Vendrian Guard encampment, but she isn't being entirely honest. I told this thing, the prisoner turns pale a moment before a look of determination comes over her face, that I wanted a guarantee I'd live and be welcome into the chorus as a captain, then I'll talk. Otherwise, they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join with the Vendrian Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my bargaining bronze. Tell me what you know and I can see to your release. Or, you claim you would disavow your people for the Scarlet Chorus. Why the change of heart? Because I want to live, and you don't need to be the Archon of Premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. She blinks several times, catching her breath. Kairos is the new strength of the Tears, and I would rather stand with his Archons than be crushed by them. Why should I trust the words of an Oathbreaker? I suppose I have no answer for that. Varia's eyes fall to the ground and she swallows nervously. When I joined with the Vendrian Guard, I accepted their broken vow unto myself. Have you not felt passion for a foolish cause on one you later come to regret? Well, my surrender is sincere, and I'm willing to bow before the voices of Norat to prove it. Tell me, I heard the chorus is looking for Captain Pelox Florian and his crew. I can lead you to them, but only if you release me. She turns her head, taking a long look at skewered and smoldering corpses around her. She tugs at her restraint, but to no avail. So, athletics, raise your voice, start talking. No. Or subterfuge, you're lying. Why don't you tell me what you actually know, and I'll see about saving you. Well, I could up my athletics, but subterfuge interests me more. Well, you see, shaken by your demand, her lips move wordlessly for several seconds. So I don't know exactly where the rest of my crew is, but I can tell you, she shakes her head, catching her breath. Search that one. She reaches up with her right leg and points with her foot, calling attention to the nearby pile of corpses. The tall, dark one missing most of his face. Check his left boot. He was the literate one in our crew. He had the orders. With a snap of his fingers, a pair of quarrymen yank the boot of the fallen guardsman. A rolled parchment slides out of the boot and is thrust into the fifth eye's hand. He unfurls the scroll to give it a read. It's nonsense, just mash of words. Laughter erupts from under the mask. She said she had information. She gives us garbage. Slay the witch. The wretch for wasting our time. He snaps his fingers at a nearby Scarlet Fury, who promptly snatches a long knife from her belt. I heard her say she'd swear fealty to the voices of Norat. An initiation rite would be in order. Very minor wrath. Seeing as you are an expert on the subject of fate, I will entertain your wisdom on the matter. What then would you propose we do with her? Point to 2 other prisoners. Let's test her loyalty. Varia, kill the guardsman with something blunt. Minor favor. Or send her back as our agent. When the time comes, she will aid us, or we track down her kin. Minor wrath. Okay, you're wasting a good slave. Work her until she's broken and feed her to the pigs. And then average favor. I'm gonna go with the more favor. A fine decision! The fifth eye claps his bloodied gloves together, signaling 2 nearby guards with a nod. The Oathbreakers already had their chance to surrender and choose to play possum's faint. Let's make an example of her. Wow, they walk slowly. We're on a schedule. What? No! Turns pale as her arms are seized. But I gave you information. Motherless savages. May hunger take your children. Laughter erupts as Varia is dragged off to her fate. Bye! I don't know if that was the correct way to do things. I don't really give a shit. We're no closer to finding the Oathbreaker's position. Not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answer and all she gave us was gibberish. Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely it's one of our local scripts. The voice comes from another prisoner tied up to next to Varia, an older gentleman with the quills, ink veils, and parchment scrolls one finds on the sages of the School of Ink and Quill. Ink smudge cover his cheeks, temples, and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the rips of the fabric you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emaciated and tied to a post, he offers a beaming smile. Who are you?
I'm Sage Lantry, one of the hired quills that was coordinating missives between the Vendrian guard captains. They aren't paying me anymore and aren't coming to my rescue. So I'll decipher that parchment for you. That's what smart prisoners do, right? Make themselves useful?
Yeah, that sounds good, dude. Sage, one of the longest serving schools of... Yeah, I remember that. Hired quills. Household or army requires a great deal of logistical know-how, and it helps to be literate and capable of maintaining your own records and ledgers. Most leaders employ assistants known as hired quills to log harvests, schedule payments, balance payrolls, and dictate ledgers to friends and rivals. Read the parchment first. Can I read it? You unroll the parchment to see a message of modest length written with professional, albeit hasty, penmanship. The cheersmen speak the canto just like the Northerns, but they have a half-dozen different ways of writing it. This script is unknown to you.
Well, let me see. I can't...
You hold the parchment in front of the bound sage, and his eyes dart down the length of the missive. He reads the words to a second time, nodding in silence.
I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
He is cute. I'll give him that. He's cute. A few hours? Either you can read it or you cannot. What use is a sage that doesn't know his letters? I've heard all I need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. It can't hurt to give him a few hours. You read the edict. I don't need to tell you the sundial is working against us. This addled old bag is just trying to stall us. We'll be upset to know you squandered a source of enemy intelligence. He's trying to help. Isn't that worth something? Another useless prisoner. The voice of Norat will be upset. How true. Then we shan't put him to waste. He will serve as the most riveting source of amusement as we put him on trial.
Fatebinder, I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
As a Fatebinder, it's not my place to tell the chorus how to do stuff. You're willing to let him die for sport?
Clearly you need an education in Scarlet Chorus justice. Anything that satisfies their sick amusement is fair play. If the conquest is any judge, there are no limits to their depravity.
Did Graven Ash castrate you during recruitment, or do you just not know the meaning of the word fun? I'm actually curious.
With a shake of his head, the fifth eye gives you a shrug. Is it not obvious? If he is a true enemy of the Overlord, he will perish by our blades. If he can survive, then he is strong, and the strong lead. Thus his crimes will not be crimes, but simply the actions of the mighty. What's not to understand? This is an alchemy. Fine, I'll be his champion. This one needs to live. I just want to fight some stuff. I guess we're fighting some stuff.
Good. I like it when Tunon's puppies get their paws dirty.
I wouldn't mind taking a swing at some loudmouth chorus braggart.
Did you hear that, brothers and sisters? Raising his arms to the sky, gain average favor. Roars roll now, trial by combat is upon us. Yay! The sage is unbound from his post. Stiff legs nearly buckle as he attempts to walk, and his arms flex and flail at their new freedom. Wiping sweat and grime from his brow, the sage steps close to you with a nervous smile. Rhythmic roaring and the stomping of hundreds of feet in unison flood the camp. Hordemen begin to circle and swirl about, brandishing weapons and cheering. If you got this worked up to fight the enemy, eventually the war would be over by now. Begin the chant of gathering. Let the warriors know that tonight's entertainment will soon commence. Tonight's? Okay. Brothers and sisters, who among you set standard of strength? Who among you will help winnow the weak from the strong? Claimants have been assembled. Now let the trial of the Oathbreaker begin. So, Horde, Scarlet Fury, Fire Strike, Jagged Slash. Why am I in the front? Please don't let me be... Oh! Lantry is like... actually joined me? And he's actually like... a character? And he has like 2 points. And he's like leveled up twice. Damn. Damn, he has things? He has a Lantry's quill. So cool. Only Lantry can equip the Sigil of Life. +10 to control life. Ah, interesting. Skull's gloves, Skull's robes, and they're all bloodied and all hell. What does he have? Control life. Interesting. Let's just control life. So he has a bunch of control life. I don't know exactly what that means, but he does have a few spells. Restoring touch. He is a cleric. Not really cleric, but you get what I'm saying. Restoring touch. Plus 24%. Channel healing energy into the target, restoring health instantly. Cool. Very cool. Quill, Sage, and Preservation. I only have 2. I have 6 for some goddamn reason. And Lantry has only 3. Quill Strike. Lantry throws a well-aimed quill at his targets, interrupting them. Sure. Thrown weapons. Or Sage, which is Watcher's Judgment. Lantry strikes his target, interrupting them and lowering their non-physical armor. If used from stealth, this target will also paralyze the target. And Preservation. Renewal. Lantry restores the party weapons and armor to pristine condition, increasing the damage from weapons and protection from armor. Piece of armor worn for 60. Penetrated by attacks. +1 armor penetrated by attacks for... Preservation seems nice. Sage eventually gives you passive bonus to substitution dodge. Arcane Judgment. Strike foes. Lore Master improves lore skill. Voice of the Ages. Lantry hit precision. And the ability to decipher ancient languages. A useful skill for discovering new magics during your travel. Interesting. And here it's basically just quills. Are quills just like... Is his quill thrown weapon? And thrown weapon. Do you just... Yeah, it has a ranged attack. How do you decide between if it's ranged or melee? If he's melee, it's melee, but if he's ranged, it's ranged, and range seems to deal more damage, so it's better. Actually not true. Actually, that's not true. Interesting. And what is his thrown weapon? It's actually thrown weapon is his best thing. Better than fucking magic staff or anything like that. Very interesting. Preservation, however, control vigor skill. Just gets control vigor. This adds control life. This is greater renewal. So it's +1 per piece of armor and gives you more armor penetration. And then you've got arcane shield, arcane armor, and magic defense. And just armor, straight up. So I'll go with renewal because it sounds pretty cool, I think. I guess. Control life, and control life seems pretty cool. Yeah, let's just do that. I have no idea what I'm doing, like none at all. I want you to just be spell strength and affliction duration, endurance. So this is resolve. His resolve is pretty good, but basically this will be great. Quickness is awesome, dude. Or he could just go all the way with wits, have him all witty. He is very witty, but I'll go with quickness. Yeah, whatever. So I now have this guy, and do we have like combo stuff? Quicken, not in combat. KOKOStern, yeah, 1 per encounter. Line quickly heals the Fatebinder with a surge of restorative energy. The burst of energy is so vigor, the Fatebinder is also hastened for a lasting duration. Cooly ooly. Okay. So, yeah, it's kind of need to be like this. Fatebinder behind. I need to be behind. So you go back. Verse, you have the dodge thing. Jagged Slash, Fire Strike. So you just go fight them. And you... No, actually, you set up your defenses first. Spectral Blur on yourself. And you also cast Spectral Blur on yourself. You also cast Spectral Blur on yourself. And you... Titan's Touch on her.
You got it. Yes.
Okay, now I'm getting all the disengagement attacks, which is really bad. So I should really not do that. I should just stay fighting. She's already taken a ton of damage, it seems. So, wow, this is very interesting. Yeah, but these are coordinating attacks. It's going to cost us time. Yeah, because I already clicked it, then it's just going to happen now, isn't it? Yeah.
No dice.
So you can actually Restoring Touch on Verse.
As you command.
And you can do something useful like explode things, fulmination.
Take me if you can.
That was a lot of disengagement stuff. You that was a good amount of lightning. You're almost done with that, and then you can strike iron. Just kill this. Okay. Control lightning. Everybody gets control lightning because he gets control illusion. So I'm taking a ton of damage, which is really bad. This thing's almost dead. I think she's attacking me, which is pretty bad. Let's do Warrior's Respite right now, just to try and survive this. What happened? Auto-pause, weapon effective verse. Okay. Then what you could do is skewer this. That should be fine, right? Not sure. Could you do your thing? What happened? Extraordinary Defense, Lantry. Oh, Lantry, I don't want you to do anything like that. Greater Renewal. Yeah, you could do Greater Renewal, actually. She's just chasing after that. And I guess you could help that for now. Just skewer this.
You got it.
You are untouchable. Okay, that's dead. Good. We don't have time to do things together, but you can use Electric Jolt. Never mind, that's dead. So, don't use Electric Jolt. And he leveled up, that's great. I guess you could just do, yeah, just do Electric Jolt on this thing. And you just finish that off. Skadoosh. Skadoosh. And damn it, I took damage. I actually took, like, a wound. Yeah, I won't do. I got wounded. Thrust! Okay, never mind. Weapon effective verse. Verse, why is your weapon always ineffective? Can't you kill stuff? Okay, you guys murder that together. Everyone else seemed to be doing alright. You can be fine. You just use your Quill Strike.
Ready?
And you, everybody still has Spectral Blur on them.
I will aid you.
Good murder.
What a rush.
I don't want Lantry to die. Come on, dude. Strike iron. Oh my god, she just murdered the shit out of him. Okay, good. He killed that, but is Lantry just dead? Critically hits Lantry. Restoring Touch. So he just healed himself with Restoring Touch instead of dying because he actually has AI. That's nice that he has AI. No, actually, I want both of you to stop whatever it was you're doing and go help. I don't want Lantry to die. Disengage. Don't die. He is almost dead.
I'm not built for this.
But he is ranged, right? Yes, he is. Okay, Scout Fury knocked out Lantry. He did get knocked out eventually. Okay, this is useless. I was doing things that are not useful. And he's dead. But my Lantry got knocked out, which is terrible. Okay, I'm still really working through the combat system on this game, dude. Seriously, that was just bad. That was just atrocious. But the righteous shedding of blood, we have found our answer. Regrettably, it appears the stage is worthy of leaving our camp alive. Well, he is wounded. The fifth die offers a short walking bow to Lantry. By the customs set forth by the voices of Narat, you are free to go, old man. Brag to your grandkids that you fell afoul to the course. Live to tell the story. Rather bloody definition of the word trial. That was fun. Your warriors almost put up a good fight. Lantry gain average fear. Gain minor loyalty or gain minor favor. Okay, that was fun. Your warriors almost seem to put up a good fight. It really is bloodletting weather, is it not? My conscript need to see more warriors of your skill in action. I thank you for the lesson you have given the camp. I thought I'd die tied to that post. Now hand me that parchment. I'm certain I can decipher it. Yeah, I'm still understanding exactly what happens. And if you click something, you're just locked into it, it seems. Even though you're paused, which is... There's a way to stop, I just don't know what it is. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I could make out an important parts of the text. The note makes mention of a meeting spot west of Trippentail. So the old sage knows the words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can't get the Captain Florian to yield to the chorus. They will strike at first sight of a chorus gang, but perhaps they will parley if yours is a face they see. I know the area, and I suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far from the stench of this camp. You're offering to come with me. Why? Because the alternative is, what? Living here with these illiterate brutes? My old study is under a river of fire, and there's no family missing me. Besides, I'd much rather chronicle the binder that twice proclaimed an edict of Kairos. I'd be a fool to let someone else write your story. Something's amiss. There's a lot of fight in you for an old scholar. Now you're offering to join this expedition. Oh, there's things loyalty. Fine, if you're so eager to come. Okay. Splendid! You won't be disappointed. I know I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly and how to not get killed. Really, I won't slow you down. Lead the way. Let me know if I can be of service. Are we done here? Let's hightail it to Trippentail. If your new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears. Okay. So, we did all of that. And everybody's actually rested? Huh. Interesting. And I leveled them up the way that I felt like at the time, which is interesting. Character sheet, she leveled up, so I get +1 at whatever I want, which is interesting. Spell ability and spell cooldown, but I want some might into her. I want her to kick some ass. Armor deflection. She has great finesse, but I want her to also have some, yeah. Attack and ability strength. Yeah. Things get stronger somewhat. Or maybe accuracy and accuracy. Yeah, let's just give her accuracy. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like running through the game. I'm not even gonna spend time. Skirmisher sets foes on fire. Launch a burning arrow. Yeah, that's a burning arrow, which means bows. I don't know if I need that or it just... She just like, whoop, swoops to a bow, even though she doesn't have a bow, and just uses that. That'll be cool, but I don't know. Mocking Iron, cross on talent point. Taunts her foe, enraged. Mocking Iron. What does it do? It doesn't tell me. Enraging them, forcing them to attack her for a brief time. So enraged and taunted. Recovery is reduced by 25%, health increased by 15%, will reduce by 15%. Forced to attack the taunter. That's good. Gravedigger is Moa of that, or not really. Sweeps at a target's feet, knocking them prone, then following downward with strikes from each weapon. Melee critical hits damage nearby enemies near their target, and then when Verse is defeated, she immediately attacks all nearby enemies. Scarlet Vengeance, that's really cute. Know your enemy. When an enemy strikes first, she gains a passive bonus to dodge and parry skill until combat ends. What? This is awesome. Killing speed. After a kill, Verse will strike twice with her attacks for a short time. What? All of these sound amazing. 50% movement speed for 5 seconds, immune to engagement for 5 seconds. Ooh, that's so good. Holy shit. I like this one though. I like giving her more defensive stuff. Kills don't happen that often, but this one sounds great. Sounds great. Yeah, sounds awesome, dude. Sounds super, super good. How do I see how much experience I have at the moment, though? Like, when do I level up? Here. Yeah, that didn't give us a ton of experience. She was close anyways, but everybody else wasn't that close. So he controls life, basically. But does that mean that I gained the life sigil? I didn't. So if I take this away, it'll be gone forever. But how does he have so many of empty slots? How do you gain more goddamn empty slots? Is it just when you level up? I don't know. Well, I don't need you to have Titan Touch because they have that for themselves in a way. But I would like him to be a buff person. So Sigil of Vigor with Focus Intense Titan Touch. And with this one, it's Surge of Glory, which is Wave of Invigorating Energy. Plus 30% damage for 20 seconds. Plus 2 Resolve. Low required 40. This is pretty cool. Sure. That's pretty cool. But then I want you to have some damaging stuff, please. What's your... These are the only ones that he has, so he doesn't have the other ones, like, at all? Or, like, how does it work? If I do lightning... Yeah, attack skill, control lightning, and lower 50. But if I give him... Wits. Is it just wits? Does just wits govern that? That's actually interesting. Wait. Mental acuity, their ability to observe their environment. Wits is used to increase spell strength as well as increase the magic defense. Just tells you how much wits you have. Okay, whatever. Let's... But how do you see all of the things? Like, I have control lightning, control illusions, apparently. But how can you see the other things that I have? You only see them if you just... 2 ranks plus 19, quickness and wits and whatever it is. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's just give him some spells. What kind of spells I'd like? This is a cone. This is fantastic. Assign this to him as well. And then Electric Jolt, a huge bolt, and then dealing shock damage and stunning them. This is also pretty damn good. So also assign it to him. And does he have lightning at all? Control lightning 25 and lore. I guess. I don't know. Should be fine. He should be fine. Don't have that other than healing yourself, but that's fine. He survived. Everything seems okay. And then these guys. Yeah, ever since Fatebinder spoke of Kairos' edict. Oh, you see Fatebinder. Okay. Let's see what you can teach me. I can't remember which one. Dual wield and unarmed. So you can just improve your dual wielding, which is good because that's what she uses. And then Reg, magic staff. Yeah, you can do magic staff or subterfuge or lore. So lore, because lore is the most important thing in the world. And that's about it. And he has a light leather helm for some reason. Recovery plus 0.2. Hide helmet. Hide helmet on everyone. Except for him, because the helmet is part of who he is. I guess. Yeah, I don't have anything more interesting than that. I think that's fine for now. You have all of your spells. Oh. They have things, maybe. Scarlet Fury armor and the thing. So, she does have the armor on her. Is this good? Slash, less pierce, fire, less frost. It's kind of the same thing. It's just different things. Yeah, it's basically sort of the same thing. All right,
nice.
Whatever. We did some fighting, and we sucked at it, but nobody cared. For some reason. I'm not sure why. Okay, so that was a night, though. That was 7 days to Kara's Day of Swords. So, it's pretty bad. Formation. Yeah, so this is the formation. Block formation is what I like. Yes. Okay. Formation number uno. Barrack at the front, and these two behind. Yes. Okay, this is fantastic. This is totally what I'm talking about. Let's make a big save. I'm just running through the game. I'm not even, like, loading to do that fight again because I sucked. Because apparently it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, we did all that. We already talked to Silverschnank, which is fine. And then we could just go and do whatever it is that we want to do. So, what do we want to do? How do we... No, I mean the world map. There you go. So there's remote settlement and Echo Call Crossing, Trippentail Wilderness, and Northern Clearing. I have a bunch of things to do, like a bunch. Primary is taking the Outer Wall and the Battle of Echo Call Crossing. But we want before Kyrus' forces can press the attack. But I obviously want to do everything in Vendrian as well. I don't know how long everything else will take us, but yeah, let's just try and do things right now. So, Deathnell said the gang of Horde are raiding a remote settlement on the western side of the valley. Head there and link up with the Chorus forces. So that's one thing that we could do. Earthshaker reinforcement is that. Hide completed quests. Radix, leader of the Earthshaker, has been summoned from the Stone Sea. Travel to Northern Clearing to search for the Earthshaker reinforcements, and then explore Echo Call Crossing to find clues of the missing shipment of iron. And the way of the Horde is... Yeah, where's the final thing, though? Biography... Yeah, no, notes, records... I mean, we also have a new party member that we kind of have to talk to. Holy crap, we've been doing this for an hour already? Oh my god. Everything just... forever and ever and ever. I guess we could talk to him. Let's talk to him and finish this for now, and then go and do some other quests. Every area takes me more than an hour, Jesus. Now she stops his stride, darting his hands about his bandolier and belt as he softly mouths off a mental inventory of his inks and quills. When at last assured his position are in place, he looks up at you with a smile. What might I do for you? If you're going to be traveling with me, I need to know more about you. An understandable request, let's see. Born in Sunder, no kids, what few longings of fatherly love I've got in my heart are satisfied by taking care of carrier birds. Learned my sigils and spells about 30 years back, and being able to defend myself has opened a life of field study, and haven't grown tired of the wandering just yet. I've written on all manner of subjects, magic, birds, language, geometry, but my main focus has been chronicling. I find there's no finer pursuit than recording the events of our times. There will always be legends of what happened. Someone ought to be making note of the real thing. Aside from that, I don't know. I practice centering stance, draw portraits, make my own inks, and have a sharp aversion to autobiography. I'm about as boring as watching coral grow. How'd you end up in Vendrian as well? When the Vellum Citadel was set aflame by Kyrus' edict, I fled as fast as my knees would carry me. Every direction seemed a bad idea, but heading to Vendrian as well seemed the least suicidal option. Mind you, I was laboring under the misconception that the Vendrian Guard had surrendered, and the fighting in the valley had stopped. Looking first at his left arm, then his right, he read through his assorted notes inked across his skin. Ah yes, 7th of sparring, that's when I crossed the mountains. That would be 3 days after the Vendrian Guard jettisoned their surrender and claimed the citadel in the valley. The Vendrian Guard nabbed me and several other sages moving through the valley. The other sages were sympathetic to the Vendrian Guard. As for me, I just agreed as to not to get everyone killed. I think defying the Overlord is a really slow and stupid form of suicide. Tell me about your work with the Oathbreakers. The Vendrian Guard had several noble born in their ranks, and they know their letters. Problem is that they've come from nobles' house scattered across the realms, each with their own private script. That's where the sages and I come in. Between us, we're familiar enough with all the regional scripts to translate and coordinate. But translating is child's play, so I might have helped out a bit more. The old citadel at the center of the valley is a crumbling affair, and there's no time for proper construction. Seemed a crime not to put my magic to work. What did you learn of their plans in the time you were there? It won't surprise you to know their strategy is largely non-existent. They cling to the hope that their example will inspire others in the tiers to come to the valley and join the cause. Their recent inaction between the Archons has emboldened them. Some even think the Archons fear the Vendrian Guard. I'm sure they have it quite wrong. So you provided military aid to the Oathbreakers. Lantry, gain average fear. When the servant of the Archon of Justice asked me that question, I can't help but assume it's the water. It's the antecedent to some sort of punishment. I can't deny that I assisted the Oathbreakers, but the alternative was to starve in a cell and maybe lose my head. I realize this is an offense to the Overlord, but it's not like I increased the odds of winning in any significant way. My throat is acting up. Intense matters. You were doing what you needed to survive, and we gained some loyalty. Well, I trust my future actions will show I mean to be of service, not a source of problems. What else can you tell me about the Oathbreakers and their forces? The Vendrian Guard surrendered back in 429, and while a lot of them were conscripted to the chorus, 3 of the leaders, Captain Ari, Matani, and Florian, never turned themselves in. Instead, they hid in the valley, gathering up what resources they could until they could challenge the local garrison. At highest count earlier in the year, they numbered over 400, their ranks swollen by soldiers of Haven and Azure that survived the war. They are a dying breed, these Oathbreakers. Most in the tiers have finally come to realize that Kairos has already won. And before you ask, as connoisseur of the inevitable, I have made my peace with the Overlord and bow to his might. How did you wind up a prisoner of the chorus? I had to send some missives, and that meant getting to a clearing where my Terrans and Doves might find me. The patrol with me was ambushed by the Scarlet Chorus. I tried to flee the scene, but some youngster tackled me, and well, out of one fire into another. That's been a running theme this year. Let me ask about something else. What would I do? Tell me about your magic. Oh, I don't much like to brag about things like that. Not asking you to brag, I'm asking you to tell me what you can do. My major areas of focus have been preservation, concealment, and healing, arts that have served me well in this newfound life as a peripatetic prey animal. Stop using words I can't pronounce, or don't know how to pronounce, most likely. The sages study all kinds of magic, but as a chronicler, I wanted magic that would help me see more, archive more, protect objects of historical value. Seeing as I feel like an old relic in need of some protection, my skills suit me well. Can you teach me? Sure, I can show you how to blend your own inks, train birds to think you're their mom, how to turn a goat into parchment, but I'm sure you'd prefer to learn some magic. And the school of ink and quill still mattered. I'd maybe be more tight-lipped, but if we're going to travel together, you should know how to mend wounds, especially if I'm killed. I know the edict still looms, but if you have a few hours, I could show you the basics of healing magic, or at least how I learned it. I would be honored to learn what little you know. Gain minor loyalty, yeah. Rummaging through his satchels, the sage produces a long quill and a crumpled piece of parchment. With 7 quick strokes of the quill, he inks a pattern on the page. Yay! We'll start with the first principles. When mending wounds and easing pain, we invoke the magic of the Orphan Midwife, Archon of Rebirth. By invoking her sigil, we channel her mastery, however briefly, through her hands. Now trace the sigil following the lines in the order I sketched them. War Mage. Follow along. Trust me, I'm a natural with this sort of thing. Minor loyalty and fear. Awesome, because I'm a War Mage. Youth and confidence. Where you find one, you often find the other. And let me tell you one thing I know for sure. Hubris and magic don't mix. Still, if you're eager to learn, that's music to my ears. Since this isn't your first cantrip, I'll move a little quickly, but I think you can keep up. Andy walks you through countless repetitions of the signing of the mystic sigil. For hours, you wave your hand in the air to no effect, until at last you sign the pattern in the air and feel a rush of power through your veins. 5 control life skill ranks. Woo! We can control life now! And so if you need to heal pain as opposed to purge an infection, you'd move your hand like so. But you know, that's enough for now. I think you can rest your finger. Awesome. We gained some stuff. Tell me about the sages. 400 of you, but I didn't get a sigil, did I? Sigil. It did pass a few hours, however, which is bad because we don't have time. For hundreds of years, the sages have been devoted to the collection and preservation of knowledge. We are scholars, bookmakers, archivists, and students of the mystic and mundane alike. The wisest of our guilds, not that I truly belong in that category, are versed in sigils and spellcraft. Or that's at least how it used to be. With the destruction of the Vellum Citadel, the sigils have been scattered in the winds. They were once more sages than I can name. Many have died or taken prisoner by Kairos' forces. What do you know of the Vellum Citadel? Sorry. Lantry scowls, his writing hand becomes unusually still. I once felt a rush of pride at that name. Now it's a blight on our reputation. Lantry clears his throat, reassuring with a smile. reasserting his smile. The Vellum Citadel was a beautiful sanctuary of parchment and ink. We had amassed knowledge from the Northern Empire to the coast of the Tears. It would take a score of lifetimes to learn all the Citadel could teach you, but the sages in charge of the Vellum Citadel thought themselves above Kairos' rule. The Overlord learned the sages were copying and spreading lies and forbidden knowledge. Kairos put an end to the Citadel with his Edict of Fire. Lantry stopped, putting a hand in his face. All that knowledge set aflame. When we bind books, we bind them to last. Our most important tombs were warded against fire and other maladies. And she scowls. So many of their books remain intact at the shelf as the shelf and floor melt away. I suppose it's still there if you want to brave the danger and certain death of it. There is good reason they call it the Burning Library now. He shrugs. Who leads the school? I keep learning more names of those who died during the Edict of Fire, so my information could be obsolete, but the sage Krevenik, or Srevnik, incinerated, Sage Renetta would be the current provost. If she died, well, fuck. Thanks to all the recent deaths, maybe I'll be next in line. Let's archive that away under things to worry about later. In truth, there isn't much guild left to lead. Our library fortress is in ashes, our membership in disarray, and it doesn't help that we have something of a spotty reputation here in the Tears. Fear of magic being something of a local specialty. What's your role in the guild? I'm one of the chief writers of the Chronicle. It's our attempt to record the truth of all things in their proper sequence. It's the ongoing life work of generations of sages, and I have the honor of witnessing history and having my vantage point be a matter of record. The sages would not bow to Kairos, yet you do. True, my peers can grasp many abstract concepts at one, but on the subject of hopeless wars, their stupidity rises to idiotic splendor. The sages believe themselves the mightiest magical guild in the Tears, and they could even back that claim, but they mistook being the best for being a match for Kairos. How is it so many can study so much history and learn so little? I've studied Kairos and the Archons in great detail, enough so that I am no longer blinded by fear of their magic, nor by envy of their special gifts. To my mind, it seems like nonsense to bow to a mere king or queen when one could serve Kairos, the living embodiment of rulership. Cool. We'll talk more later. Indeed, I've finite appetite for discussing myself, and I'm more than sated. Let us press onwards. Okay, he seems cool. New spell. Oh, I did learn the Sigil of Life. That's awesome. I did learn the Sigil of Life. Focused Intent or Distant Impact. What does this do? Healing Wisps. Release tiny bolts of life energy to restore a large amount of health to the target. So this is allied AoE plus 2% health. Allied targets plus 4% health. 4% health doesn't seem like a lot. Focused Intent, Restoring Touch, which is what he has, right? Yes, it is what he has. I could use this. I mean, I could also put Spectral Blur on myself, but I really don't want to ever be in combat, and I'd rather just have this. Accuracy, Intensity. What would accuracy do? Just give accuracy. Inventive. This will just increase the range, and this would just increase... Oh, Sigil of Strength would increase the health. So I like this one. This is unnecessary. Unnecessary, completely unnecessary. What does he have? He has just the normal one. So this is 35 at this point. If I add this, we're going at 45, which is still possible. So this is actually awesome. Yes, please. And also here. Yes, please. Cool. So they both have very strong heals. Well, very strong. Decent heals, and they can do that from far away, which is pretty awesome. These guys can buff themselves and then go into combat, which I think is useful. Buffing themselves. And then I have some damaging skills. Can I move these around, maybe? And you have False Pit, which is, I guess, pretty cool. Awesome. I'm not sure how much Titan's Touch is that useful, but if I remove this sigil... If I go with this, and then I add Focused Intent, you get Restoring Touch. It's 15, it's not much. And then I just add Intensity. It gets to 35 already. Intensity is just too much. Range really doesn't matter. And accuracy, though, accuracy gives us accuracy. So you can actually... I like the Spectral Blur. Might and Vitality. I like this one, actually. This is pretty good. And yeah, that's about it. This is cool. This system is awesome. You can customize so much. I really like it. It's very interesting. Okay, I think we've done enough. We're almost at an hour plus. And now we just have to decide where the hell we want to go, which I have no idea. I can just save this, doesn't matter. I have names. There's no names. Why is there like more things over here? What are these? I don't know what this is. Are these just like old things of me testing the game? Huh, I guess they are. Yeah. Me testing that it works. It just auto-saves, because those are all auto-saves. Cool. Yeah, so we're just going to continue next time. Thanks all for watching. We're going to go to one of the quests. If you know anything of the game, without telling me why, give me a good place to go. That'd be cool. Pretty much, I guess. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Yeah.